Ju Park walked through the glowing portal into the Galactic Academy, carrying just one small bag. Her strong muscles, built for Earth's heavy gravity, made her stand out among the alien students. The academy floated in its own pocket of space, with strange buildings that seemed to bend reality. Colorful beings from 1,000 different worlds moved around the campus. Ju felt proud but nervous. Earth was known as a Class 12 death world to the rest of the galaxy. Only 5 humans had been chosen for this special program, and she wanted to represent her planet well. Administrator Blix approached the human group. He was a blob-like creature with 7 eyes on stalks that wobbled as he moved. The eyes blinked nervously while he spoke. "Welcome to our academy, brave Earth friends," Blix said. His voice sounded like bubbles popping. "Please keep your strength limiters on at all times, and move slowly near the crystal people. They break very easily." Ju looked at her fellow humans. Do-hyun, a tall boy with a friendly smile, adjusted his strength limiter bracelet. Minji, who had short black hair and a serious face, was already taking notes. Taehyun, the youngest of their group, couldn't stop staring at a floating cloud creature passing by. Subin, the oldest, nodded politely at Administrator Blix. They had all studied about alien species, but reading about them was nothing like seeing them in person. Some aliens floated instead of walked. Others had too many limbs to count. A group of tiny blue creatures moved as one large mass. "Remember," Blix continued, "your living quarters have been specially reinforced. The food dispensers are programmed with Earth nutrients. And please, absolutely no running in the hallways." The lights above them flickered slightly. Ju barely noticed, but the alien students around them reacted with fear. Some dropped to the floor. Others extended protective shields. A few released warning smells. "Just a power adjustment," Blix said quickly. "Nothing to worry about." Ju exchanged looks with her fellow humans. They had been warned that most alien species evolved on garden worlds, with perfect conditions. These beings had never experienced earthquakes, storms, temperature changes, or high gravity. To them, Earth was a nightmare planet where everything could kill you. "Now let me show you to your dormitory," Blix said. As they walked through the main hall, alien students moved aside, creating a wide path. Some watched with obvious fear. Others showed curious interest. A few even seemed excited. "Why are they staring?" Taehyun whispered. "Because to them, we're basically space monsters," Minji replied quietly. Subin smiled politely at a group of plant-based students who rustled their leaves nervously as the humans passed. "We need to be very careful not to confirm their fears." Just then, a small floating robot zoomed around the corner and crashed directly into Do-hyun. Without thinking, he caught it with one hand before it hit the ground. It was a simple reaction for a human, but the alien students gasped in shock at his speed and strength. "Sorry about that," Do-hyun said, gently placing the robot down. "Amazing reflexes," called a voice. A tall insect-like professor approached them. "You must be the Earth students. I'm Professor Xix, Comparative Biology. I've been looking forward to meeting you." While Blix seemed nervous around the humans, Professor Xix was clearly fascinated. His antenna twitched with excitement. "Is it true that you can regrow damaged tissue?" he asked. "And that you have symbiotic bacteria living inside you? And that you drink dihydrogen monoxide daily?" "You mean water?" Ju asked. "Yes, we drink it all the time." Several nearby aliens made sounds of disbelief. "Remarkable," Professor Xix exclaimed. "I hope you'll all consider participating in my research studies. Nothing invasive, of course." Blix gently pulled the professor away. "Let our new students settle in first, please." As they continued walking, Ju noticed the special reinforced floor panels that lit up under their feet. The walls were marked with warning signs in multiple languages. Emergency safety equipment was placed every few meters. The academy had prepared extensively for their arrival, yet still seemed terrified of them. Juwu wondered how they would ever fit in when everyone saw them as dangerous creatures. A small, glowing alien child floated near their path, watching the humans with wide, curious eyes. Unlike the others, it showed no fear. Instead, it waved a tiny tendril at them. Juwu smiled and waved back. Maybe there was hope after all. Juwu checked her schedule and headed to her first class. The other humans had different first periods, so she was on her own. She found the room for advanced gravitational physics and stepped inside. The classroom was strange. Instead of chairs, there were various platforms, hanging pods, and floating cushions for different alien body types. Juwu found a seat marked with the Earth symbol and sat down. The teacher, Professor Knox, floated at the front of the room. He wasn't solid at all, but a swirling cloud of purple gas with small glowing specks inside. When he spoke, parts of his gas body pulsed with light. "Welcome, students," Professor Knox said. His voice sounded like gentle thunder. "Today we begin our study of survival in extreme gravity conditions." Juwu looked around. The other students were a mix of strange beings. Some had too many limbs, others had none. One student was just a floating crystal. Another looked like a giant caterpillar. Professor Knox continued, "We will start with theoretical calculations for survival in harsh gravity. Our simulation today will recreate a catastrophic environment of 0.8 G. The alien students made worried sounds. A small, jellyfish-like creature shivered so hard its bells rang. Juwu raised her hand. "Yes, Earth student." Professor Knox's gas form rippled with interest. "Professor, Earth's gravity is 1.0 G. That's what I live in every day." The classroom went completely silent. Then chaos broke out. 3 green cloud-like students instantly collapsed into puddles. The crystal student vibrated so quickly it became blurry. A 6-legged purple alien stood up sharply. "Impossible." The 6-legged student shouted. No thinking being could evolve in such crushing conditions. The Earth student must be mistaken. Professor Knox's gas form condensed with shock, becoming smaller and darker. "Are you certain, Earth student? 1.0 G would crush most species' bone equivalents." "I'm certain," Juwu said. "In fact, some parts of Earth have slightly higher gravity than others. We barely notice the difference." A student with 8 eyes blinked them all rapidly. "But how do you move? How do your hearts pump blood upward against such force?" Another student waved its tentacles frantically. "Their internal organs must be reinforced with metal." Professor Knox regained his composure. "Class, please. Let's approach this scientifically." He turned to Juwu. "Perhaps a demonstration would help us understand." Juwu nodded. "I could remove my strength limiter for a controlled experiment, if that would help." The professor hesitated. "That would be educational. But please, move very slowly and carefully." The class watched nervously as Juwu unclasped her strength limiter bracelet. She felt the familiar tingle as her muscles were freed from the dampening field. "What would you like me to demonstrate?" she asked. Professor Knox floated toward a display table. On it sat a large metal cube marked with warning symbols. "This is our demonstration weight for theoretical discussions only," he explained. "It's made of ultra-dense material and weighs approximately 200 kilograms. No student should attempt to move it." Juwu walked to the table. She bent her knees slightly, grasped the cube, and lifted it easily above her head. The classroom erupted again. Several students activated personal shields. The crystal student vibrated so hard it cracked slightly. "Remarkable." Professor Knox expanded with excitement. "And this is normal strength for your species." "Pretty normal," Juwu said, carefully setting the cube down. "I work out, but I'm not exceptionally strong for a human." "Try the gravitational measurement device," a brave student suggested. Professor Knox guided Juwu to a complex machine with a jumping platform. This measures potential energy under various gravity conditions. The safety field prevents jumps higher than 30 centimeters. Juwu stepped onto the platform and jumped lightly. There was a loud crack as she broke through the safety field and nearly touched the ceiling 3 meters up. When she landed, the machine sparked and displayed error messages. "I think I broke it," Ju said apologetically. "Sorry about that." Suddenly, alarm lights began flashing. A mechanical voice announced, "Emergency protocols activated. Potential gravity anomaly detected." Security drones zoomed into the classroom. Professor Knox quickly expanded his gas form. "False alarm. Just a demonstration. Override code Knox Alpha 7. The alarm stopped, but the class was too shaken to continue. Several students were still hiding under their platforms. "Perhaps we should end early today," Professor Knox said. "Please read Chapter 1 for next class." And he paused, looking at Juwoo. "I believe I need to revise our curriculum significantly." As students filed out, many gave Juwoo a wide berth, but a few looked at her with new interest rather than fear. Juwoo put her limiter back on and gathered her things. As she left, she heard Professor Knox speaking to his teaching assistant. "Contact the department head immediately," the gas professor said. "We need to completely rethink our gravity studies. If humans can survive 1.0 G naturally, all our theories need revision." Juwoo smiled to herself. She'd certainly made an impression on her first day, even if it wasn't exactly the one she'd planned. The huge academy cafeteria was unlike anything on Earth. The room stretched so far that Juwoo couldn't see the far walls. Different sections had special bubbles of atmosphere for aliens who breathed different gases. Some areas were extra hot, others freezing cold. Signs in many languages marked food safe for different species. The 5 humans found their assigned table easily. It had a bright yellow hazard symbol on it. "Nice to see they made us feel welcome," Do-Yun said, sitting down. He opened his lunchbox from Earth. Juwoo put down her tray. "How were your morning classes?" "Strange," Minji said. "In math theory, they were shocked I could do calculations in my head. They thought humans needed computers for basic multiplication." Do-Yun smiled. "In cultural studies, they showed horror movies about Earth, regular Earth videos of rain, snow, and earthquakes. The class was terrified." "How about you, Juwoo?" Tae-Yun asked, opening his juice box. "I think I broke physics class," Juwoo admitted. "They were scared of 0.8 G gravity, and I told them Earth is 1.0 G. 3 students fainted." Tae-Yun laughed. "That's nothing. In xenobiology, they wanted to measure our lung capacity. I nearly caused an evacuation when they discovered we filter oxygen from a nitrogen atmosphere. They called it breathing poison. Did you know we're considered toxic?" Subin added, "My biology teacher wore protective gear to collect my saliva sample." The cafeteria was busy with alien students. Most stayed far away from the human table, but some watched curiously from a distance. Subin stood up. "I'm getting some water." He walked to a nearby dispenser marked with a blue symbol. As he reached for the handle, a green alien with tentacles noticed him and screamed loudly. Subin froze. "What? What's wrong?" "That's hydrochloric acid for the silicon-based students," the alien wailed, tentacles waving wildly. "You'll dissolve into goo." Other aliens turned to look. Some backed away quickly. Subin smiled calmly. "Actually, our stomachs naturally contain diluted hydrochloric acid. It helps us digest food." The cafeteria went completely silent. Then all at once, panic erupted. A floating blob-like student expanded to 3 times its size and turned bright red. Another student with 6 legs jumped onto the ceiling and clung there. A group of plant-based aliens curled their leaves protectively. 3 different alarm sirens started blaring. Flashing lights appeared on the walls. A mechanical voice announced, "Biological hazard detected. Containment protocols activated." Several faculty members rushed into the cafeteria wearing protective suits and carrying strange equipment. One sprayed a foam barrier around the human table. "Please remain calm," said a teacher with 4 arms. The Earth students will be escorted to a containment room. Minji sighed loudly. I told them during my medical screening that we contain acids, bacteria, and viruses naturally. I don't think they believed me. Juwoo stood up. There's no danger. This is how humans are supposed to be. A small floating robot approached their table. It projected a hologram of the Academy director, a tall being made of shifting light patterns. Attention, please. The director's voice came from the robot. There is no emergency. Deactivate all alarms. The sirens stopped, but the cafeteria remained tense. I apologize for this misunderstanding. The director continued. Our Earth students have been thoroughly examined and cleared as safe. Their biology is different from most species, but not dangerous when proper protocols are followed. The protective foam barrier dissolved. The staff members lowered their equipment. The presence of acid in human digestive systems is normal for their species, the director explained. Just as the methane breathing of the Jovian students or the liquid nitrogen baths of the Creo students are normal for them. Students began to relax slightly. The six-legged students slowly came down from the ceiling. However, the director added, Earth students, please use only the dispensers marked with the Earth symbol. And other students, remember that the human section of the cafeteria is perfectly safe to approach. They are not toxic by proximity. As the excitement died down, the humans returned to their lunch. But now, they noticed something new. Some alien students were moving closer, watching them with what seemed like curiosity rather than fear. A small floating alien approached their table. It looked like a jellyfish with glowing spots. Is it true, the alien asked in a musical voice, that you have billions of tiny life forms living inside you, and they help you survive? You mean our gut bacteria? Yes, that's true, Taehyun answered. The alien wobbled with excitement. Fascinating. In my species, any foreign organism means death. Soon, a few more brave aliens approached with questions. For the first time, the humans found themselves having actual conversations with their classmates. Maybe this is progress, Juwoo whispered to Minji. Maybe, Minji replied. Or maybe they're just studying us before we inevitably explode. The humans couldn't help but laugh, causing several nearby aliens to jump back in alarm. Fitting in was going to take some time. After lunch, all 5 humans had adaptive physical education together. They followed the map on their tablets to the gymnasium. This was no ordinary gym. It was a huge dome with glowing lines dividing it into sections. Parts of the floor moved up and down. Strange machines stood along the walls. The other students were already there, wearing various types of exercise gear suited to their body types. Some floated, some crawled, and others walked on many legs. The teacher spotted the humans immediately. Unlike the other nervous staff, Commander Kix moved toward them with clear excitement. He was a tall, insect-like being with 4 arms and 2 legs. His hard outer shell had many scars and marks. The Earth students arrive. Kix said loudly. His voice was rough but friendly. His mandibles clicked together when he spoke. I've been looking forward to this all day. Juwoo and the others exchanged surprised looks. This was the first teacher who seemed happy to see them. I come from a higher gravity world myself, Kix explained. Not as extreme as Earth, of course. No one comes from a place as extreme as Earth. He laughed, a strange clicking sound. But I understand what it means to be stronger than others. That's why I teach this class. The students gathered around as Kix explained the day's activity. Today we play gravitational sphere, he said. The rules are simple. We break into teams. The gravity will change in different areas of the gym. Your goal is to catch the glowing orb and bring it to your team's goal. Kix pointed to a floating ball that glowed blue. The gravity will shift from 0.2 g to 1.2 g in different zones. Most species can only function well in certain gravity zones. That's why we mix the teams. So each team has students for different zones. The humans were split up, 1 to each team. Juwoo joined a team with a floating gas cloud student. two cat-like creatures, and a student who seemed made of living stone. When the gravity changes, the stone student told Ju-woo, "Stay in the green zone. It will be lightest there. I'll handle the red zone where gravity is strongest." Ju-woo nodded, not wanting to explain that she could handle any zone. Kix pressed a button, and the floor lit up with changing colors. "Begin." The game started. Ju-woo's team moved carefully, with each member staying in their preferred gravity zone. But Ju-woo soon realized she didn't need to stay in one place. When the ball floated into a low-gravity green zone, she moved there easily. When it rolled into a high-gravity red zone, she could still move fast enough to reach it. In the low-gravity zone of 0.3 G, Ju-woo discovered she could jump incredibly high. With one push, she soared 5 meters up and caught the ball in midair. The alien students watched in amazement. "Pass to me," called the stone student when Ju-woo landed in a red high-gravity zone. He clearly expected her to be stuck there. Instead, Ju-woo ran through the 1.2 G zone as if it were normal and scored a point for her team. The stone student's crystal eyes widened in surprise. Across the gym, the other humans were doing similar things. Taehyun was bouncing between gravity zones like they were nothing. Minji was carrying a much larger alien teammate through a high-gravity section. Dohyun was running circles around opponents who could barely move. Subin's team won the first game. Then Minji's team won the second. "Remarkable," Commander Kix declared, clapping his 4 hands together. "The Earth students adapt to any gravity. They don't specialize like most species. They can function in almost any condition." For the first time that day, the alien students weren't backing away from the humans in fear. They were watching with interest. During a break, a 4-armed blue student approached Ju-woo. This student had a round body and seemed to float slightly above the ground. "I am Lux," the student said. "I come from a gas giant planet. We evolved in stable conditions. Our gravity never changes. Our temperature never changes. Everything is always the same." "That sounds nice," Ju-woo said. "But you?" Lux's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. "How do you endure such diversity of conditions? I watched you move from low gravity to high gravity without trouble. My people would die if gravity changed even a little." Ju-woo thought about Earth with its changing seasons, storms, earthquakes, and different climates. "That's just Earth," she shrugged. "Everything's always trying to kill you, so you learn to adapt." Lux and several other students who had gathered around stared at her with a mix of horror and fascination. "You mean," a plant-like student asked, "your world actively tries to kill you? And this is normal?" "Pretty normal," Ju-woo said. "We have extreme hot and cold, storms, earthquakes, dangerous animals, harmful bacteria." "And you just live there?" Lux interrupted, all 4 arms waving in disbelief. "We do more than live there," Dohyun joined in. "We go swimming in the acid-filled oceans for fun. We climb frozen mountains because they're there," Taehyun added. "We run long distances just to see if we can," Minji said. The alien students moved closer, no longer afraid but completely fascinated. "Perhaps," Commander Kix said, joining the group, "that is why humans are so adaptable. When your world tries to kill you every day, you either adapt or die." The alien students considered this. For the first time, they looked at the humans not with fear, but with something like respect. As evening came, Ju-woo and the other humans received a message on their tablets. There would be an emergency assembly in the main hall. Everyone had to attend. "Do you think they're sending us home?" Taehyun asked as they walked together. "I hope not," Ju-woo said. "We've only been here 1 day." The main hall was already full of alien students when they arrived. The hall was huge, with a high ceiling that showed the stars above through a clear dome. At the front was a special platform with 5 large chairs marked with the Earth symbol. "Those must be for us," Subin pointed. The 5 humans sat in the reinforced chairs. They were much stronger than normal chairs, made of metal instead of the light materials used for other students. The room quieted as the academy director appeared on the stage. The director was unlike any being Jiwoo had ever seen. It seemed to exist in multiple places at once, shifting and changing. Sometimes it looked solid, sometimes like a ghost. Its voice came from everywhere at once. Students of the Galactic Academy, the director began. Today has been educational. There were some nervous sounds from the audience. It appears our orientation materials regarding our Class 12 Deathworld colleagues were insufficiently comprehensive. The director waved a shifting hand, and a large image of Earth appeared above the stage. It looked beautiful and blue. Earth, the director continued, is classified as a death world for many reasons. The image changed to show Earth's features: tall mountains, deep oceans, stormy skies. It has what most species would consider crushing gravity. Its temperature varies from freezing to burning hot. Its atmosphere contains corrosive oxygen. Its star produces radiation that would kill most species. Its ground sometimes shakes violently, and it is filled with millions of organisms that have evolved to survive these harsh conditions. The alien students stared at the images with wide eyes, tentacles, or whatever they used to see. Most remarkable of all are the humans, the director said. The image changed to show human bodies with diagrams of internal organs. They have bones inside their bodies instead of outside. They can heal damaged tissue. They carry billions of tiny living things inside them that help them survive. They drink water, yes, actual water. And they breathe oxygen, as if it were not poison. Jiwoo could feel all eyes on her and the other humans, but rather than fear, the director's voice grew stronger. We should recognize this opportunity. If these remarkable beings can survive such conditions, imagine what we might learn from them. Their adaptability, their resilience, their unique perspective. These are precisely the qualities our academy was founded to study and share. The director's form solidified briefly. I ask all students to approach our Earth colleagues with curiosity rather than fear. They are different, yes, but difference is why we are all here. The assembly ended, and something unexpected happened. Instead of rushing away, alien students began to approach the humans. A beautiful crystal being floated toward Jiwoo. It sparkled in the light and made musical sounds when it moved. Is it true? It asked in a voice like bells ringing, that your world has frozen water that falls from the sky, and you simply stand in it. Jiwoo smiled. We call it snow, and yes, we not only stand in it, we play in it. We make sculptures from it. Some of us even find it beautiful. Fascinating. The crystal being's colors shifted to a surprise blue. Perhaps, would you share more about these seasons your world experiences? All around the hall, similar conversations were happening. Minji was explaining earthquakes to a group of floating aliens. Do-hyun was showing pictures of earth animals on his tablet to some insect-like students. Tae-hyun was describing mountains to a flat, puddle-like being that had never seen anything taller than itself. Subin was talking about oceans with a fire-based life form that found the concept of so much water terrifying but interesting. Later, as the humans walked back to their dorm, Jiwoo felt different than she had that morning. The day had been chaotic and strange, but something had changed. I think they're starting to like us, Tae-hyun said. Not like us, Minji corrected. Respect us. There's a difference. Jiwoo looked out a window at the strange stars of this part of the galaxy. Being a Deathworlder meant more than just surviving the unsurvivable. It meant finding beauty in harshness. It meant adapting to change. It meant seeing challenges as opportunities. These were things the humans could teach their new classmates. Tomorrow will be interesting, Jiwoo said. Probably chaotic too, Do-hyun added with a grin. Definitely chaotic, Subin agreed. But maybe that's not such a bad thing. As they reached their reinforced dorm room, Jiwoo looked back at the academy. Lights glowed in windows where alien students from 1,000 worlds studied, talked, and now wondered about the strange humans in their midst. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but for now, chaos was transforming into something better: connection.